Yeah, we'll see, David. We'll see. I'm not sure. I would imagine we just swept London low, but there's still some liquidity down here resting. I don't know if you can see this, but there's still a decent amount of liquidity underneath. So, yeah, I think based on the structure, I would not be surprised if it goes higher, but we'll just have to wait and see. Nora, what up? Gotta stay hydrated. Dude, you have a friend that looks just like me? Doubtful. Appreciate the follow there. What's his name? Crazy Coot? Yeah, I know him. I've heard of him. Guy's mad chill. Such a small world. Oh boy. Hey, trying your best is all that matters, right? This market's weird. Weird, very weird pre market. All right. Thank you, Nora. Have a good day at work. Appreciate the gift. Yo, yo. What it do? What up, what up? We're feeling good, man. We're feeling good. Hope we can find a good setup today. It's Friday. We had some news at 8:30, so it was actually good news, but I don't think it was very impactful. It was orange folder news, not red folder news. So market really didn't react when it came out. It actually kind of dipped a little bit, but I think that was just natural flow of the market right there. It had nothing to do with the news. So we're going to keep an eye on potential trade deals going on today. We're going to keep an eye on that. If we get some trade deals signed, we could see a pretty big jump in the market. We're going to try to take advantage of that. So Full Port Friday, yeah, don't recommend it. Don't recommend it. Eyeing longs right now. I think if we flip this 1 minute, that's not a bad bet. We just swept London low. Got a 5-minute breaker right here, small. I mean, I guess that's considered a breaker, but got a 1 minute sitting inside of that. So I think if you flip this 1 minute, longs at least up to here would probably be a decent bet. Yeah, we're sitting in a 1 hour gap, but also a 1 hour inversion. So everything's bullish here, you would think. That's a bullish inversion. Inverted right here to the upside. We got a 4 hour gap we're sitting in. We dug pretty deep into that. I think longs here, if I had to guess, I would say longs, but I want to see an inversion of this one first. Also, I'm not trying to get in a position before market open here. Zach, what up? Hey, in case anybody didn't know, I sent this to Zach already, but Apex has a sale going on of 90% off. So 150K account, if you want a 50K eval, it's $18.90 or something. So you guys should go check that out. You need a code, whatever influencer you can find a code from. If you don't have a code, use code PJ. Yeah, for real. Hey, don't rush it, Zach. If you don't see it, don't take it. I have a feeling you're going to do well, though. I think your psychology at this point, I don't know you that well, but I feel like just from the brief encounters we've had, your psychology, I think, is probably on point now. You got to blow a couple of evals before you, or a couple of fundeds before you get right. So with Apex, sometimes, yeah, they do require you to do that. Not your strategy, but they want to, like, yeah, that's a pretty aggressive open right there. Why does it keep doing this? You don't have to provide your strategy, but it helps to, I screen record all of my trades, so in case they ever ask, you just submit that, and they're good. They really don't give you that big of an issue. They just so many people are scam artists, man, and they're doing all kinds of nefarious stuff to take money from these firms. So they're just trying to protect themselves from getting scammed. But dude, you can have up to 20 funded accounts with them at a time. So you got to think about that. Like that's ripe for some fraud to be taking place, some nefarious BS. No, you're right. It's Apex. It's not providing your strategy, but it's they want to see if you're taking large payouts, they want to see your trades, which is pretty easy to provide. They walk you through it. They tell you what they want and how to do it. The pain sticks with you, man. Yeah, it's like a mental wound, and it's a good thing and a bad thing. Like you can't dwell on it, like feeling like you're a failure, but it is good to dwell on it in terms of realizing the mistake you made and not repeating it. I think over leveraging is people's biggest problem with. Yeah, Nathan, you're right. Yeah, if you're consistent, they won't ask. But man, this is a weird open. Exactly, Zach. Yeah. I don't know if you'd consider that a breaker or not. What is Trump saying? Oh God. me again. I don't really know what to think. I'm just letting this play out. I really don't know. We just inverted that one and then completely disrespected it. So there's no telling here. This breaker did not hold up. This is more like a bearish breaker here. Ishmael, what up, man? We might be going lower here. It's really hard to say. We're going to let this first 15 minutes play out before we even contemplate a move, though. You could almost argue this is a bullish or a bearish setup. I was going to say, why is that? I mean, this could be both, man. You got a bearish setup here. You also got a bullish setup with these breakers. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. Bottom could drop out of this and just dip lower here. This is the 1 minute right here. I'm sitting in this 1 and in this 2. You could just get a strong rejection down lower. Brock, appreciate the follow. Yeah, I don't, this isn't decisive one way or the other right now. We're just going to sit and wait. Be patient, wait for a good setup. This could easily just reject hard lower right here and go down to all this liquidity. But you also have some a little higher too, so we'll see. There's nothing clear right now. I'm listening to Trump speak. He's on the White House. He's at the White House lawn or whatever, just taking questions from reporters. He is fucking hilarious, though, dude. I don't care what anyone says. Yeah, I would hold off Judah. He's talking about Epstein right now. Absolutely, Zach. And he's just switched over to talking about the Obama thing. It's such a easy home run, and it's a layup, and he's screwing it up. Makes you wonder. Well, we just inverted that 1 minute and the 2 minute, I think. But we're gonna hold off until Trump finishes talking, because, as everyone knows, he could say one thing and this could go hard in either direction. This is NQ right here. We bounce back and forth between NQ and ES, but right now this is NQ. I haven't looked at ES this morning, to be honest. I charted it out, but I haven't. It looks clean. Looks clean. Sorry. What are you waiting for on here? Well, for one, we're waiting for Trump to stop speaking. He's talking right now to reporters. This is the 5 minute. But I'm waiting for Trump to quit speaking. If we invert this 3, I'm going to potentially stab along here. We'll see. Again, I'm not taking a trade until Trump stops speaking. I've learned my lesson on that. Yo, Buzz, what up? As long as you're not oversized, Judah, I'd hang on because I think we do want long here. It's just I'm hesitant with him talking. Mariah, I appreciate the follow. Come on, man, stop talking, please. Yeah, I'm funded. We're trading funded today. Just inverted this 5. Why is this failing like that? I should have held, but I'm going to go ahead and take off right there. Because that just, the order the order flow just completely died off on that for some reason. London high would be the first draw. Asia high. This is London high up here. Let me see if I can get this so you guys can see it better. I closed that position super early, but I did it for a reason. Order flow on the DOM completely died off. So I didn't like what I was seeing there. It's most likely going to go higher, but I'm safe with that 250 profit. That's $250 times 5 unfunded, dude. You can't be mad about that in 2 seconds. Trump is still talking though, so $1K a day, yeah. I guess I don't know what I'm doing, man. Looking at the DOM, silly. It is weird if you're looking at it. It's like the flow just completely died. I still think it's going higher, but I should have held, but it's okay. If we get a touchback, we'll reopen. Why so serious? I'm not serious. I'm chilling. I'm dialed in listening to Trump. I got him playing in my ear. I would play it for you guys, but I don't know. TikTok will probably ban me. Was I making a face? I'm sorry. Yeah, I think as long as Trump doesn't say anything radical right here that causes the market to dip, I think based on the structure of the market, we're pushing higher. The structure of this price action, I could have held that position and rode it all the way. I think at least to London high. But dude, yeah, it was actually 250 times 7. I didn't realize I have 2 fresh fundeds that I tied copy trading. So 250 times 7. Kyle, I appreciate the follow, man. That's a perfect long right there. Perfect entry I had with the limit order set right there on the 3-minute. Excuse me. Brother, you're like 40. Why are you in college? I'm 32, and I went to working on cars after high school. And when COVID hit, I stopped doing that and started working for a law firm and fell in love with it and decided I wanted to be an attorney. So I decided to go back to college. So that's what I'm doing in college. Got 2 years left to undergrad. I knew people. I got very lucky. Joystick. I interned basically as a without pay for a while. I had shadowed somebody for a year or two before that. Knew what I was doing well enough to be brought on. Yeah, it's never too late, never too old, man. And the only reason you think I look 40 is because my hairline is absolutely fucked right now. But don't worry, next payout, that's getting taken care of too. Yeah, I might retest this 3 and push higher, but we don't. We're just gonna wait. Again, Trump is still yapping, so I appreciate that, Maya. Bro, I know. It, I mean, I was thinking about that this morning, man. 10 years ago. 10 years ago feels like yesterday, dude. I was talking with somebody about that. I remember 10 years ago, around that time, I was working on cars. I was a mechanic, and I remember talking with a guy in the shop about Bitcoin, and I think it was at like 7,000 at the time. I think it was around there, and we were debating like, you think it's gonna hit 10? You think it's gonna go to 10,000? Should we put some money into it? But that seems like it was just yesterday, man. So if you think about that in the context of just everything in life, time goes by way faster than you realize, than you expect, I should say. Too fast, man. What is this tapping into right here? Tapping into that 4 minute. Appreciate the follow, VA. Uh, Shush, I wouldn't expect that right now, man. You have London high. We haven't hit any sort of major liquidity, and Trump hasn't said anything negative, so I don't see it pushing to the downside here. I think you got to wait at least until you sweep London high to be looking for any sort of reversal. And I honestly don't even think it'll do it then. I think you're going to push up to Asia at least first. Asia's up here. This is TradingView right here. I'm charting on TradingView, and then I'm executing on Trade-of-8. No, we haven't hit London high yet. London high is sitting right up here at 23,413. It's pushing towards it right now, though. Nice discount. I'd be careful today. Fridays are, in my experience, they're notoriously wonky. So unpredictable to an extent. I was telling people earlier, I don't know who all was in here when I said it, but Apex is running a 90% off sale right now. So their 50K evals are like $18.90 for one. So you still have to pay the $140 activation fee if you pass the eval. But if you're consistently blowing evals, I would stock up on those while that sale is going on. Or if you're just looking to stack funded accounts. Well, I think it officially starts at 3. I put it at 2. You know how kind of New York session at 8 o'clock kind of starts? That's when the algos kind of kick on and everything gets crazy. You can see the volume increased right here. It's the same with the London session. I think it officially opens at 3 Eastern time, 3 a.m. Eastern time. But I put my session indicator on for 2. As you can see right here, starting at 2, because that's when it gets rolling. But that's not where the high is. The high was from, well, I guess it was from 2. Yeah, the high is from right there at 2. So if you're looking at the 3 o'clock high, then yeah, you're right. We've swept that, but that's not what we're headed towards. I think we're headed towards the can you trade Forex for evals? No, but there are Forex prop firms. These are futures we're trading, Michael. So no, there are other commodities you can trade, like you can trade crypto futures, like Bitcoin and Ethereum specifically, not all crypto. You can trade cattle futures, gold futures, silver futures, all that kind of stuff. But you cannot trade Forex. Apex funded having a 90% on. Yeah, Apex is the, what's it called? Graham, it's called Apex Trader Funding, or Apex Funded Trader. Apex Trader Funding. Yeah, definitely the best account for stacking. Best firm for stacking funded accounts, because you can have 20 of them at a time. But they do have trailing on the evals. They do have trailing drawdown, interday trailing drawdown, not end of day, interday. So if you're in a trade that goes up 1,000 and you keep the trade open, it drops down to 500 profit. Technically, that's counted as a 500 loss towards your drawdown. So some people have a hard time with that. But all you got to do is just, if you see it start to reverse, just take profit and be happy with what you got. Dude, that's sick, Tristan. I love that. I've done that a couple times on evals. I've never done it on funded. And I've never had that kind of sizing that you're talking about. I do like 1 or 2 micros. Just put a super wide stop on. Yeah. Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, you're right, Monkey. Once you get used to it, like if you're not used to it, it's definitely difficult. But once you get used to it, it's fine. Trump's done talking, so let's see what we get here. No, Dre, we were in a long right here off of this 3-minute, and I cut it short. We took 250 profit on 7 accounts, but we cut it short because Trump was still talking and volume completely died off on the Dom. So if we get another tap back into this area right here, I think I'll try to re-enter. I still think this one's higher. Yeah, I'd like to see a touch back into this area down here. Specifically, this 1 minute would be beautiful. But I don't know if we'll be that lucky. Might just keep pushing, which is fine. We're not going to chase. We're not going to FOMO. Yeah, I still think it's going for London. Dre, we just talked about this. If you have your kill zone set for the correct time, which is 3 a.m. Eastern time that they open, you're right. We did sweep, but I keep mine on the 2 o'clock because that's sort of like with the New York session, the way that the algorithms start around 8 a.m. That's why you see this. This usually starts at 8 a.m. I have my London session starting at 2 a.m. So the 2 a.m. high is what we're shooting for right here, that we're pushing towards. But you're correct. If we were going off of the strict opening and closing of London session, when the actual opening closing is, we did sweep the London high already. But this is the London high from when the algorithms got turned on right here, which is probably why price immediately dropped. I mean, I don't think it's coincidental that right when the algorithms get turned on, that it immediately drops. The machines get turned on. Connie Child, nope, not a time to sell right now. I mean, you can if you want. I don't think that's what we're looking for here, though. I think we're at least looking for London high before any sort of reversal. This is a beautiful setup, man. This is textbook right here. Literally textbook off of the 2 minute. You had a sweep of a low. You had a V-shaped recovery with a breaker. You had a fair value gap of 1 minute inside, or a 2 minute inside of the breaker that inverted. You had a tap back into the inversion and a long higher for London high. I mean, this, if you'd gotten in, this was right here at 9:45. This tap back right here, if Trump hadn't been speaking, I would have immediately opened that long, targeting London highs, and I'd still be in that position right now. We'd be up a lot. But with Trump speaking, you never know what's going to happen. You could even, this is the entry that we took, actually, was off of this 1 minute. See the tap back into the 1 minute inside of the breaker? That's beautiful. That's absolutely beautiful. So this setup right here is literally my bread and butter. This is what I look for. Yeah, Sebastian Trump. He was taking questions from reporters on the lawn before getting on a helicopter. So Connie, lots are that's terminology used with Forex. We use contracts with futures. So, and there's mini and micro contracts. Micros are smaller, minis are slightly bigger, 10 times bigger actually than a micro. But it depends. Like if I'm trading evals, I do 1 to 3 minis. On a setup like this, with Trump not speaking, I would have taken 3 minis on this setup. It's too much unless you have, my rule for funded is 500. For every 500 to draw down, I use 1 micro. So if if you have enough drawdown for that, then no, it's not too much. It all depends on how much drawdown you have, how much buffer you have. I don't anymore. Why? I used to. Yeah, I used to work at a law firm, but I'm stopped that so that I can focus on school, and I'm doing this. This is what I pay my bills with now. No, it has nothing to do with the confidence. It has to do with just sizing appropriately with funded. You want to protect that like it's your own money. I mean, you don't want to be crazy because, with evals, you can kind of not YOLO it, but you can take more risk because if you blow it, it's like, you can just get a new account going. I guess you could make the same argument with funded, but at the same time, why risk it? If you're trading 5 to 20 fundeds at a time, you don't need to risk that much. My theory is I have 7 fundeds going right now. We just made 250 times 7. In order to take a payout on Apex, you have to do it's every 8 days, and the max payout for the first 6 payouts is $2,000. So you don't really need to make more than 250 per account per day in order to take the max payout. So there's no point in using a mini unless you just are looking for a dopamine hit. A lot of people are. The other reason I like to use micros is even on fundeds I use micro, or on evals I use micros. If I want to trade 1 mini, I'll trade 10 micros because you can scale out of the trade. You can take 5 off here, 2 off there. If you're in for 1 mini, you're either in or you're out. There's no scaling. P&D, I'm not familiar with XRP. I mean, I track that kind of stuff, but in terms of any sort of, you know, educated analysis, I don't know much about it. Absolutely, using micros is better. Yeah, once you get rocked using minis, you'll start to reevaluate, hopefully, what you're doing. Yeah, this would have been a beautiful long right here, especially if I had held down here. We'll see, VA. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm going to screenshot this setup because this is just, I love this. There you go. Congrats. Yeah. Well, even if you're wanting to trade mini size, like one one mini is worth 10 micros. You can size out a trade. You can take profit at certain levels. You can take partials. You know what I mean. You don't have to. I think that's the benefit of using micros versus minis. What is a breaker? A breaker is the last leg down before a sweep higher, basically. So probably have it cleaner on a different setup. Like this right here would be a 5-minute breaker, but it's too small. That's the most simplistic way to explain it. What we're looking for on this, the reason I have marked out is you would like to see price, if we're going to look for a short here with this breaker, price needs to come down through it, creating a gap inside of it, and then retouching and then going lower. Basically the exact opposite of what we saw down here. So what we saw down here is a leg higher, then a sweep lower. We took out low level liquidity here, this resting liquidity, V-shaped recovery, created an inversion right here. It tapped back into it, as you can see, and then continued higher. We're basically looking for that same thing in the opposite direction now. It could, Steve, it could go to Asia. That's why we're just sitting on our hands here. I'd like to see a strong push lower here. We did take one trade. We took a long down here. Took a long off of this, but we cut it short because Trump was talking and I didn't have the kahunas to hold while he's speaking. Yeah, appreciate it, Zach. Yeah, I'm sure you've dealt with it before, man. When he's talking, you could have a perfect setup, and then he says something, and it just completely goes to crap. So it's like, I've been burned on that too many times to take a chance. There's Chance. Chancey Poo. Need to get you in on the action, man. See if we flip this 3 minute. If we flip this 3 minute, then I'll get really interested. Got to spend it to make it? Nah, man. Very little entry cost. Yeah, we could just tap into this 3 minute and reject higher up to Asia. That's why I'm gonna need some. I'm gonna need to be convinced here before we get in. And that's really not that. If I was long in this position still, I would still be holding because that just up to London is not. I would think we'd at least push to Asia here, but we'll see. Raj, we were in a long right here. We scalped, not really scalped. I guess you'd call it a scalp though. 250 times 7. Trump was talking, so I would have normally held that. I would have gotten in lower and held it longer, but you never know what he's going to do. I hear you, Max. Yeah, Asia seems to be the logic. I mean, if you're still in this, I would still be holding for Asia. You still got bullish order flow being respected, so this what I have marked out is just wishful thinking. Yeah, Tony, I think you're still good on longs, man. Asia high is still up there. I would have taken partials at London high, and I'd probably have break even below. Depends on where your entry was. Really depends on where your entry was. I'd probably have break even below this 15 minute right here at 378 ish. Yeah, stay. I mean, if you get stopped out, getting right back in is not always the move. Sometimes it is if it's like, I just had my stop set in the wrong spot. You know, the move's still going to be made. But if you're just revenge trading to get back in, that's smart to stay out. VA, did you take a short just before London or a long just before London? Appreciate the follow. Absolutely, man. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Trying to catch up to you, bro. Trying to catch up to you. Yeah. Yeah, you still get some moves from, I would say, 130 to 3. I think I've caught some great moves in that time period. It's not every day. Yeah, Ken Long. We took a long. We were in long right here and took profit somewhere up here. Cut it short because Trump was talking, and I'm always hesitant to get in a position while he's in front of the camera. The setup was perfect for longs though. Yeah, Tristan. Yeah, you're right. Just take a couple leaves off the money tree and keep moving. Some fun coupons. Exactly. Yeah, I need some more coffee. We need some moves here. We need somebody make something happen. Forza Italia. Okay. You're short on this? Good luck. Good luck to you. ES been moving. ES is moving. Yeah. That's a nice setup on ES. Breaker right there. You get a tap back into that. Yeah, that's that might actually be the move. NQ and I need to take that off. Let's see what ES is going to do here. This might be a short right there. Down to lows might be the move right there. Look at that rejection off of there. What up, Kyle? Yeah, that ES is looking nice. I'm not short or long or anything right now. Kind of just waiting. That ES setup. This definitely looks to me like lower. I would if I was on ES right now, I would have shorted this right off that touchback. I would target these lows. Stop a little bit wider than wanted, but it would be right there. That's a really good setup right there. I might even take that setup, to be honest with you. See if it respects that gap. Nope. Chance. Yeah. Good thing we weren't in that. Which high time frame are you talking about, Zachary? Hey, man, I've been telling. Oh, you're talking about the 4 hour. We're pushing off that 4 hour. Yeah, you're right. And the 2 hour. Quit riding that jet ski. Hey, man, stay cool today. It's supposed to be a hot one. I'll be thinking about you in the AC. this price action sucks. Almost an hour in here. $30 minutes. We'll get an inversion of that. Sit in this 30-minute. Yeah, it does seem like that. The initial market open, I mean, it makes a great move. I wish Trump had timed his YAP session a little bit differently, so we could have really capitalized on this move. That would have been a beautiful move. $56 points. Should I close my longs? I wouldn't say that. You still got Asia up there that is lurking. I would have your stops, depending on where your long was. I'd have your stops below that 15, right down here. 23,378. GBD, what we're waiting for is clear sign of a reversal. Right now, this is just consolidation. We hit London, and the reason I have this breaker marked out, I was waiting for a strong V-shaped recovery, maybe forming a fair value gap or an inversion inside of the breaker to retouch. But right now, we're not getting that. We could just be consolidating up, all the way up to Asia high here. Yeah, PJ's the man. PJ, yeah, I watch PJ. Was in his Discord for a long time. That's where I learned this model. I mean, I learned it from ICT, but how to execute it and what to look for specifically, I learned from him. Chance. It's true. I need to get a jet ski. I've been saying that for a while. I'm not from Florida. I spend a decent amount of time down there, though. In the Fort Lauderdale area. That's Chance's dad too, Brian. Both your dads are very similar. Very, very similar. This is ugly. This is an ugly price action. I'm just jealous, though. Yeah, Brian, you had several of them, didn't you? You had a couple jet skis, motorcycles, all that. You had all the toys, dirt bikes. Hey, I'm streaming right now. Can I call you back? All right. Yeah, Sage, this is live. We are live. Yo. Pretty good, man. Pretty good. We're up right now. We're up a decent amount. Waiting for some action. This consolidation is not the move. Yeah, I hear you, Brian. the thing is, now you know how it tastes, man. You're hungry for it, so you'll get there. I'm working on it too, man. Once you get a taste of that life, it's hard to not be driven to try to replicate it. Yeah, Zach, you're right. Zachary, you're right. Just consolidation sideways. Not what we want to see. I don't know. Would this be considered the breaker? Or would the other one? It's fairy dust. You must have watched that movie recently, Chance. Bro, ES is so bad. It's hilarious because somebody was just saying how good ES was. We were looking at ES. This setup had potential, but yeah, it clearly did not play. Or it hasn't played out. It didn't respect that gap. It very well could still make this move though. This is just ugly. Honestly, this is really ugly. Yeah, Cameron Money. That's who just called me. He's doing pretty well this week, man. He's got a couple of fundeds now that he's taking slow, and he keeps passing evals and then blowing the fundeds, like a lot of them. And this is the first week where he's been able to hang on to his fundeds. I hope that wasn't him calling me to tell me he broke them or he blew them. Look at that move. If you're long still, here's this could potentially be your push to Asia, or it could have just been a sweep to go lower here. He knows what he's doing. But what he doesn't have under control yet is his risk management. So as soon as he gets to funded, he keeps trading them like evals, and then he just blows them. No, I don't think he's full porting. I think he's trading 1 to 3 minis per trade, but he hasn't mastered the psychology yet where he loses a trade and he's like, I got to get it back, instead of just being like, all right, I'm going to call it right there and I'm going to bounce back tomorrow. You know what I mean? You got to be able to do that. If you can't do that, you're going to consistently blow accounts. Take the L, call it a day, go do something else and move on. Yeah, I'm using TPT right now, man. I got 5 of them going. We're trading Apex today, but I have 5 TPT accounts. Yeah, 1 mini's a lot for funded. My rule is 1 to 3 for evals, but I'm not trading a mini on a funded. I'm trading 5 at the most, unless I build up my buffer. He is sized down. He's doing 5 micros now on his funded, so half a mini. Do I think 1 mini is okay for 150? Depends on how much draw. Again, it's all about your drawdown. It's all about how much drawdown. For every 500 to drawdown, I use 1 micro. So I forgot, I've never traded 150s before. I don't know. Is there 3,000? Is there drawdown on those? No, I do trade micros. Yeah. I've never traded 150K account though. Yeah, so 450 is your drawdown. Do the math on that. 1 micro for every 500 to drawdown. I don't know if we're still long, man. This price action's weird. It's very weird. It's Friday. This is what you get on a Friday. Three months is way too long. I mean, it depends, man. If you've never passed an eval before, take your time. But that is an excessively long period of time. 3 months is a long time. Yeah, I see. We're rejecting off that. 22 minutes until that candle closes. This is interesting. Look at how this is perfectly staggered. These 5-minute gaps. Perfectly staggered. Once you have a stat, probably should be passing evals in a few days. Yeah. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say they try to pass an eval in 2 to 3 trades. I think that's pretty typically, I mean, it depends on the consistency rule of the firm that you're with, but you can, if you're doing things right, I would say within 5 days, like a 1 week trading week, you should be able to pass an eval. And you can do the math, like it does take some math. So if there's like with Top Step, I think it's, you can make half of the profit in a day. So if you're aiming for 1,500 in a day, that's pretty easy to do on an eval. But you also have to be okay with blowing the eval, because that's going to happen too. You got to think time is money to an extent. Cuban, this is real time. Not delayed. If you're asking that because you want to copy trade, you're more than welcome to do that. I just, I don't present myself as some guru here. I'm just doing what I can, man. So if you're copy trading me, you're doing it at your own risk. Oh yeah, absolutely, man. You're in the right place then. You're definitely in the right place. Hi, yo. This is TradingView. This is a website called TradingView, and this is what we use to mark out the charts. We use it for charting. I execute my trades on a different platform called Tradeovate. So a breaker, I'm a little confused on this one, to be honest with you. I don't know which one to go off of, but a breaker is, I think this would actually be more of the breaker in this scenario. A breaker is like if we're sweeping a liquidity level